Hi Wildings, welcome back to the Wilding Tarot YouTube channel where we do intuitive tarot card readings on love and relationships, especially how our relationships can be a vehicle for change, for spiritual development and transformation and growth. Which is basically like the whole vibe of the Lovers card. If you look at traditional Lovers cards in the tarot, usually at least one of the lovers, usually Eve though, is always looking at the divine, usually represented with a sun and or moon. And that represents her knowing that her relationship is ultimately like her path to God, which is basically like the whole vibe of this channel. But I will get into the video that we're doing specifically today in a moment, but for now, enjoy the Zen vibes of me setting up the ritual space so that our space is really vibey and ready for me to channel messages for you. But it looks like we're just about ready to start the video, so let's get into it. Hi Wildings, let's get into today's video. We are doing their thoughts of you today video based on mostly no contact situations. Obviously, if you're not in a no contact situation or if you're in a limited contact situation, just using your intuition and discernment to slightly adjust the channeled messages for you. I'm sure there will be something for everyone, but yeah, today mostly focusing on no contact situations, and just getting any channeled messages that Spirit has regarding what your person is thinking about today, particularly in relation to you. So whenever you're ready, going ahead and choosing pile 1, 2, or 3 to get channeled messages regarding your person's thoughts of you today, remembering that I have left a brief description of each reading in the very, very bottom of the description box. So you can head there if you're not feeling super connected to your intuition or practicing any sort of self-care like avoiding triggers or only opening yourself up to certain readings at this time. That's always there for you as an option. But for everyone else, just using your intuition and picking a pile, whichever one you're drawn to. You may be drawn to more than one pile because your particular situation might be a mix of kind of two different like vibrations or archetypes or situations. So yeah, just honoring like wherever you're being pulled towards and getting the messages that you need. I will include a little freeze frame right after this if you did not have enough time to really like intuitively like vibe with one of these 3 crystals. I'll leave that here for you and see you wherever you end up in a short moment. Hey there, pile 1, welcome to your reading for your person's thoughts of you today. So if you chose this crystal, then this reading is probably for you. However, this is a general reading, so make sure you take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and meditate on any of the rest, because there will be some messages here for specific people, and there's maybe some interpretations of the cards that could be slightly altered for your situation if your energy deviates from the collective a little bit more than everyone else's. But let's go ahead and get some themes for today's reading, something to come back to in terms of what our reading today is going to be about. Can we get themes for pile 1, please? Can we get some energies for pile 1? Get some themes and energies for pile 1, please. Okay, so pile 1, the cards that came out for you in terms of themes of energies is you have both the Saturn placement and the Saturn return. So the planet Saturn often refers to our like truth, our life purpose, our kind of responsibility in life, like what it is that we intended to do in this incarnation and making ourselves responsible for like seeing that through. It corresponds with Capricorn and 10th house energy. So yeah, it's definitely, it can align with like kind of career and ambitious and like practical Capricorn energy. But yeah, usually in a broader, more spiritual sense, it has to do with aligning with what we came to Earth to do, essentially. The Saturn returns that occur every 27 years usually aligns us closer to whatever that truth is. So in the first 27 years, we're basically like free to do what we want and explore life and experiment. But after the first Saturn return and intensifying in every Saturn return after it, we like are almost like cosmically forced to align more to our purpose, which is why like a lot of people, if they didn't intend to be here for a long time, like 27's about the age that they go out, or like 27's the age that a lot of people experience like marriages and getting into the career that they love and all that sort of stuff, or promotions and whatever. But anyway, kind of in a similar vein, we have the Destiny card coming out. So this is usually Destiny in a much broader sense. It's Destiny, if you look at the artwork, to do with the Kabbalah Tree of Life, which is essentially like the entire process of like manifestation. So like being divinely inspired, aligning up with the feeling of what you want, seeing what you want come into formation or fruition through your thoughts, and like ideas about something, and then finally like seeing things arrive in the physical. We also have 8th house and 4th house energy. So the 8th house is beginnings, endings, corresponds with like death, Scorpio, transformative energy. It's ruled by Pluto and Mars, which are like passion, driving energy and transformation energy. Has a lot to do, I don't know if I've already mentioned this, sex, metaphysics, and all of that kind of woo-woo stuff as well. We also have the 4th house, which is ruled by Cancer and the Moon. This has a lot to do with our like feels, a lot of the time our subconscious patterns that we've inherited from our like family of origin and our roots. It's also about feeling like safe and at home and content and like, yeah, like kind of all the good feels when it comes to that kind of energy. But let's go ahead and get a little bit more specific using this traditional tarot. Okay, this is a lot to start off with. We have pile 1's thoughts today. Pile 1's person's thoughts today, please. We have pile 1's person's thoughts today. I need to clarify this 9 of Wands and full energy. Clarify this 6 of Swords energy. And this 9 of Pentacles Emperor energy too, please. Pile 1, your person's having a lot of conflicting thoughts about you today. On one hand, they really want to reunite. They seem to feel like they're in a really good place and can potentially return to this connection in a really positive way. But there's definitely some doubt. There's some like shadowy undercurrent of doubts with their kind of desires. So this Four of Pentacles represents security and stability. This Temperance card often represents kind of like being very balanced, especially when it comes to balancing the kind of spiritual with the everyday kind of life, and essentially like that balance creating an inner feeling of serenity. It is like heavy Sagittarius energy. And then we also have this Queen of Pentacles energy, which is like the eternal mother, like the carer of all creatures, like the like divine feminine in her very mothering, nurturing form. So it seems like your person today definitely felt like quite content with where they've got to when it comes to spiritual practice, especially. And where they've got to in their life. They seem to have got to a really good place where they're essentially just like wanting to reunite with you, wanting to potentially start a family with this Queen of Pentacles energy. But they're definitely having some doubts. So the King of Swords right way up usually is a very like courageous energy, like very sure of themselves. But coming out in reverse, like I'm sensing that this person today has been also having some doubts. And I think their doubts has to do with whether they've like progressed enough to make things work. Because the thing is, like, potentially in the first rendition of this connection, they thought they were in a very different place to what they turned out to be. Like, they thought they were much readier for a relationship than what they turned out to be. And so while there's this feeling of readiness and like desire, like there's also this undercurrent of doubt of like, okay, but I was ready last time. So like, I thought I was ready last time, but it turns out I wasn't. And so they're also doubting themselves, which like, I think on one hand feels like some healthy doubt, like meaning that they've actually understood their past and understood their experiences and understood that they didn't know more than they thought they didn't know. But I think some of that doubt is also just like being over cautious and being over protective of themselves in terms of like trying to avoid pain. But it seems like this person has been working really hard for this second chance of this relationship, and they essentially just like don't want to mess it up. They want to like show up as your teammate really, really well this time. So the Fool is very much this 8th house beginnings and endings energy. It represents like the fresh start. This 9 of Wands represents a lot of like hard work, and then this 3 of Wands represents like teamwork. So it's a sun in Aries, so it's like like people almost like being their best versions of themselves like together as individuals, and then like creating like this really cool like team. And so essentially like your person's definitely thinking like, that's what I want this new start, I want this like chance to really be this person's teammate. And like, I believe that I've worked really hard to get to this place. But again, there's this like doubt. They're worried that they'll be abandoned. They're worried that they haven't done enough work. They're worried that it won't be enough, like all this work, like they've tried so hard, but there's this fear, there's this doubt that they haven't done enough and that they're going to end up alone again, essentially. And so essentially this is definitely making them hesitate when it comes to action. 6 of Swords right way up is usually a very kind of movement, action, transition, positive, like forward force kind of energy, but coming out in reverse, I'm sensing that this person's feeling a little bit stuck. So I think a lot of the reason why they're stuck is they're kind of worried that they're still a little bit naive and maybe a little bit not ready. So this Knight of Swords is a very youthful, opinionated energy, but it can be a little bit full of themselves and a little bit arrogant. And so, yeah, your person's definitely not moving because they're worried that they haven't matured enough in order to show up in this connection really well. But again, it feels like it's like an undercurrent doubt thing, because overall this person to me feels like they've done a lot of work. They're definitely in a very different place in their life, like physically. Like I'm sensing that they've probably manifested a lot more for themselves and things that are better aligned with who it is that they really are and who it is that they want to become. They've definitely stepped into this divine masculine emperor energy in a much more meaningful way. But this Knight of Swords traditionally is either anxiety or depression kind of energy. So your person's probably feeling very anxious just based on all these like kind of doubt energies that come up. But if that doesn't resonate, they're probably feeling like quite low and depressed about the state of your guys' separation. But let's see if there's anything else in regards to what your person was thinking today. So we have love call and I like you. They're definitely contemplating reaching out and expressing love and letting you know that they're thinking of you and that they still love you. They definitely want to start things up again. The I like you card is definitely about romance blooming, flirting and like wanting to date. Yeah, so like if they haven't reached out today, know that they've probably like thought about going to their phone and reaching out to you like at least once, but probably several times. So they're definitely like, I think, wanting to feel more empowered before they do make a move. There's definitely some of this doubt and stuff is definitely disempowering them in some ways. And I think a lot of it, like I was saying before, is like fair, but then also some of it is just like almost feels like a bit of a trauma response. Like they're just kind of playing out their own disempowered kind of stories. And I think your person's probably like just doubting their growth a little bit too much. Like I don't think they're recognizing how much that they've grown and how different that they're showing up in the world now. So we have take time to breathe out. This person's probably just gonna like sit with all this for a bit longer. Like I doubt they're going to make any moves in the very near future, but probably not in the too distant future. I would say something is probably going to happen. Conclusions are within reach. So I think they will get to a stage where they're like, okay, I'm kind of done doubting myself and I'm going to make a move. Yeah, like I was saying, like not too far away, definitely not in the very near future, but in the not too distant future either. But let's see if they had any shadow thoughts today. Yeah, they had a lot. Okay, so we have nothing in my life is the same without you. I avoided what I was feeling. Hurting you was never my intention, and life has been hard and we paid the price. Yeah, so they're probably some of the thoughts that your person had today, like more specifically. Can we get another oracle, please? For pile 1. Okay, so we have solitude. Think of being alone as meaning you are all one and in total harmony with everything. The greatest treasures are those who wait silently during your quiet times. I think, yeah, your person just like needs a little bit more alone time to figure some stuff out, especially to do with like kind of these contradictions that they're experiencing. So yeah, like really just give them the space that they need right now. They do need it. There's some like underlying kind of shadow stuff that they need to let go of that's kind of causing all of this doubt. And they're essentially not going to do it if there's no like either solitude, space, or like almost pressure for them to do that. Like if you're to reach out, it kind of would stop them from feeling that pressure of like needing to go within themselves to change something in order to have what it is that they want, and they clearly want you. So allow that solitude to kind of be that pressure that becomes the catalyst for change for your person. Can we have any affirmations for pile 1, please? We have any. So I have I'm in full control and have the power to attract all that I desire. So yeah, if there's any like pull within you to start like manifesting some stuff, I would definitely honor it by manifesting things and contributing energetically. Like you have the power to change so much more than probably what you believe, and you probably have the power to shift a lot of this person's shadow work like more than either of you realize. So know that you can kind of affect this person's trajectory. Like yes, you're kind of letting them do their work, but by like consciously like visualizing kind of the end state that you desire, like that will impact today's energies for your person, and it will help shift stuff. So yeah, don't underestimate your power in all of this for a minute. But I think I'm going to leave that there, pile 1. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really wanted and needed. My name is Jade Rewilding. It's been a pleasure reading for you. And if you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it because it will help me stay on your feed for more intuitive tarot card readings like this. But until next time, ciao. Hey there, pile 2. Welcome to your reading for your person's thoughts about you today. So if you chose this beautiful crystal, then this reading is probably for you. However, as always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because this is a general reading, meaning that there will be some messages here for specific people, and there may be some interpretations of the cards that could be slightly different for your situation if your energy deviates from the collective a little bit more than other people's. So just using your intuition and discernment throughout this reading. But let's go ahead and get some general energies for your reading today, pile 2. Can we get some energies for pile 2's reading? Okay, this is very interesting and promising. Can we get pile 2's energies? Okay. Pile 2, what we had come out was the Chiron placement, which corresponds with our greatest wound, our greatest opportunity for healing, and then our greatest opportunity to heal others once we have completed that healing. We also have Venus, which rules the second house of possessions and owning, but also the 7th house of partnership. It corresponds with love and relationships energy, but also like beauty and femininity in a broader sense. We have Gemini energy, which rules the 3rd house of communication. It is ruled by Mercury, which is a communicative but also analytical placement that often has to do with the mind. Gemini energy corresponds with the Lovers card in the tarot, so often it's about twin flame, soulmate, kind of contracts or partnerships as well. But let's get a little bit more specific using this traditional tarot. Can we get messages for pile 2, please, in regards to their person's thoughts of them today? Can we get messages regarding pile 2's person's thoughts of them today? Can we get pile 2's person's thoughts of them today? Get pile 2's person's thoughts for them today, please. We clarify this temperance energy, please. Okay, that's too many. That'll do though. Ooh. We clarify this 3 of Wands energy. We clarify this Ace of Cups energy. Pile 2, your person was today understanding at least some of the ways that their own fears and anxieties were affecting their ability to support you and be a great spiritual partner for you. So this temperance energy corresponds with Sagittarius, like spiritual development, like kind of 9th house energy, and that feeling of serenity, knowing that you're balancing spiritual work with like everyday human life. And this coming out in reverse definitely tells me that your person was definitely not able to do that for you at the time of your connection due to their own like past stuff, their anxieties and their fears, and things that essentially needed to be healed within them first. So they're understanding why this connection needed to end, why they were not going to be able to give you what you deserved just based on where they were at with their own healing. And like deep down within themselves, they really desire for you to have an equal teammate, someone who's completely on your level and able to meet you where you are. And they just didn't feel like that was them at the time, because they knew that they had some healing that was blocking them from being able to be that partner for you. It seems like what they've been focusing on is aligning themselves with like more love, like an abundant kind of love, and especially being able to be more intimate and compassionate for another human. I think a lot of their fears and anxieties stopped them from being able to be really intimate and compassionate for other people's struggles, because they weren't really compassionate enough for their own struggles to be able to do that for someone else. And they also were not able to sit with themselves intimately enough to be able to sit with someone else intimately enough. But it seems like this person's really committed to doing the work. 10 of Wands energy is Saturn in Sagittarius energy. So Saturn is like a heavy placement of responsibility, and Sagittarius is especially kind of spiritual, kind of philosopher, kind of woo-woo. So this 10 of Wands energy is like being really committed to doing the spiritual work, the spiritual development, in order to align with what it is that they want to give you, or at least what it is they want you to have, even if they can't give it to you themselves. Like even if you find that before they can return to you, they do, and today have been like thinking about redemption, thinking about coming back to you, thinking about how that might go. But they do know that they need to be in a much higher expression of their energy for that to happen. And they definitely feel like there's some things still kind of blocking them for from fully expanding into that potential. Some of the things that they're definitely working on is being more emotionally available. Like right now, they're not emotionally available enough for other people because, like we've been saying, they're not emotionally available enough to themselves first. And that's something they're definitely heavily working on right now, is being more emotionally available to themselves, being able to sit with themselves, especially in difficult moments, face difficult feelings, not distract, not avoid, not turn to substances or people in order to distract them from their stuff, not expecting other people to heal them and really taking responsibility for healing themselves. They also want to get better at seeing two sides of the story, and this is probably something that they're already starting to get better at. They're understanding where you're coming from and your perspective a lot clearer, whereas in the past they probably were only really seeing and understanding their own perspective and thinking that they were right and you were wrong. They're seeing now how there was truth behind each story, and there was also elements of projection on each side, and no one was really right or wrong. It was just two different perspectives of the same reality. And this Five of Wands energy, this is Saturn in Leo. So again, a lot more responsibility with these two cards coming out. This person is heavy into taking responsibility right now. The Five of Wands is more of a bold responsibility, and right way up, it's definitely about taking a radical kind of responsibility for kind of solving your stuff or fixing your side of the story, so to speak. But let's see if there's any oracles for you to see what else maybe more specifically your person was thinking about you today. Oh, girl. We have an engagement ring, so your person was probably thinking about reuniting with you, thinking about making an eternal commitment and coming back into union with you and giving you an offer of engagement when they do. Any other oracles, any other love oracles for piles 2, please? Okay, so we have also Girl with the Snake. So empath and narcissistic paradigm, being charmed or used, enable, and boundaries. So definitely your person is probably feeling guilty about how they might have taken advantage of you in the past. But also I think they're understanding how you enabled them and maybe didn't have enough boundaries with them. And they're seeing kind of the two sides of the coin of where you can both grow as individuals when it comes to being able to give and take really evenly in this connection, and being there for each other from a much more empowered place, and kind of doing your own spiritual work and spiritual growth in order to have a better chance of making things work in the future. They're really understanding the whole empath narcissist paradigm. So yeah, the empath definitely enables, doesn't use enough boundaries, and the narcissist definitely can feel entitled to that energy, usually due to their own fear and lack. But yeah, they're definitely feeling they're in the void right now. They're experiencing a bit of a dark moon, which is the night before the new moon, where everything is literally at its darkest. But they're definitely, see this hope for the future, and they know that if they can navigate their way through the darkness, they'll kind of reach a more pure state of consciousness in which they'll be able to essentially redeem themselves with you. But yeah, they know that it's important that they reach that kind of level first. Yeah, so they're holding their vision of the two of you reuniting, and I would say that they probably want you to hold that vision too. We have the personal issue reaches resolution. So yeah, probably they were in a lot of conflict prior to today. Today they definitely realized a lot of stuff, and even in the realizing, they felt a lot of things resolve for them, just in the understanding. For them it was super powerful. Let's see if there's any shadow thoughts today from your person. Did your person have any shadow thoughts today? So we need a heart-to-heart talk. Nobody knows how I truly feel. Any other shadow messages? And I'm feeling the consequences of their action. I think they probably understand that they have to endure the consequences of their actions. And they're definitely holding on to this vision of like reconnecting with you. But yeah, they're definitely like, there's a lot for them to explore in how they truly feel like within themselves before they like let someone else in on all that. So yeah, this feels like for this person, there's still a bit of work to do. And yeah, it's for them, it's all about like reaching this higher state of consciousness, this higher frequency that they can definitely envision for themselves, but they're just like not quite there yet. But let's see if we can get an affirmation for you, pile 2. Can we get an affirmation for pile 2, please? Can we get an affirmation for pile 2, please? Can we get an affirmation for pile 2? So I cleanse my entire being from negative energy. So yeah, pile 2, if right now like thinking about your person feels like a little bit heavy, or you're absorbing some of their energy from this kind of like empath energy, I would say you're probably very connected to them energetically, and you can probably sense a lot about what's going on. Make sure that you're regularly cleansing that and knowing what's not yours and letting go of it, and keeping kind of some energy for you, and like just worrying about yourself. Like have that boundary that you're not going to take on other people's negative energy while they're going through it, because like you don't need it. You can focus that energy on yourself and do your own healing and your own spiritual development. So yeah, definitely like let some stuff go tonight if there's anything that you feel like you're holding on to. So take a bath or anything else cleansing, go for a walk next to the ocean or something like that. But I think I'm going to leave that there, pile 2. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really wanted and needed. It's been a pleasure reading for you. My name is Jade Rewilding, and I would really appreciate it if you could like, comment, and subscribe, especially if your reading resonated, so that you can get more readings like this on your feed. But until next time, ciao. Hey there, pile 3. Welcome to your reading for your person's thoughts about you today. So if you chose this crystal, then this reading is probably for you. However, as always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because this is a general reading, meaning that there will be messages here for specific people, and there may be some interpretations of the cards that might need to be slightly altered if your energy deviates from the collective a little bit more than everyone else's. But just using your intuition and discernment to navigate this reading for yourself, let's go ahead and get some general energies. Can we get some general energies for pile 3 in regards to their reading today? Can we get some general energies in regards to pile 3's reading today? Can we get some, thank you. We get some general energies in regards to so pile 3, we have Capricorn, Scorpio, and 3rd house energy. So Scorpio is a transformative energy. It is a water sign, but it like can feel very fiery, especially because it's ruled by Mars, the fire planet, and Pluto, which is a very transformative energy. It corresponds with the 8th house of beginnings and endings, sex, metaphysics, and kind of the cycle of life. The Capricorn placement is a cardinal earth sign. It's usually an ambitious, motivated, practical kind of sign. It rules the 10th house and is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn's about kind of fulfilling life purpose and honoring your truth. And that's heavy, like 10th house energy is like finding your place in the world and like kind of contributing what you came here to contribute. Then the 3rd house has to do with communication. It can be like to do with like kind of early schooling and early learning, but yeah, heavy like communication, Gemini, energy in the third house. But let's get a little bit more specific using this traditional tarot. Can we get some messages for pile 3, please, in regards to their person's thoughts of them today? Can we get some messages for pile 3, please, in terms of their person's thoughts of them today? Can we get some messages for pile 3 when it comes to their person's thoughts of them today? And anything else for pile 3? Anything else for pile 3, please? Can we clarify this Hanged One energy? Can we clarify this Hanged One energy? Like this is the longest no cards have ever popped out. Can we clarify this Ace of Swords energy, please? And can we clarify this Devil? Pile 3, your person was definitely having very uncertain energy today with this Ace of Swords, Hanged One, and Full card all coming out. They're especially really uncertain about how you're seeing the situation and how you're interpreting probably this separation and no contact situation, and kind of what you think about it and what you want out of it. They're definitely very uncertain essentially about where your head's at, and it's definitely kind of throwing them off a little bit. They know what they want. They do want to work on themselves, become more successful, become more abundant, especially in a very practical sense with this Capricorn energy coming out twice. Like they definitely want to kind of like up the ante when it comes to Capricorn 10th house ambition kind of energy. And they definitely want that for themselves, but I'm sensing that possibly a big motivator for them actually reaching that conclusion, that that's what they wanted, was probably in some way motivated by you, like wanting to provide for you in some way. So I think the uncertainty with you and where your head's at is probably making them maybe a little bit uncertain about this kind of like ambitious plan that they have for themselves. And I think they also don't know if they're going to be able to see all of this come to fruition almost without you as a motivator. Like there's definitely some doubt there. Yeah, so this Ace of Swords in reverse is definitely like a lack of power and clarity. And then this 10 of Pentacles is essentially all of their dreams manifest. So they're definitely unsure if they can make all of their dreams manifest without you, especially because like they found so much kind of like love and motivation and like kind of the good vibration of attracting what it is you want to manifest in this connection. And so they're kind of like doubting that they're going to be able to do that on their own. So yeah, I think they're definitely doubting a lot about whether this connection will be able to come back together, whether it'll get another chance. They are concerned that they've potentially either messed things up too much or potentially they haven't been honest enough about how they truly feel. The Devil card has to do with experience and knowledge and Capricorn energy. They're definitely felt ill-equipped to deal with this connection the first time around. They definitely didn't feel ready. And I think they're potentially unsure of how they're going to get ready on their own. Like they're just like really uncertain of their own ability to kind of today, like at least kind of rise to the occasion when it comes to the demands of this connection, because the Lovers card upright is very much about using a connection as a vehicle for personal growth and transformation, especially in spiritual senses. So this person's worried that without you, they're not going to be able to transform enough to manifest the life that they desire, because they definitely want a lot in the world. This world card corresponds with Saturn energy, and like I was saying before, like that personal truth and responsibility and like what you came to Earth to do. And I think this person definitely sees themselves as coming to Earth to be some sort of provider, protector kind of energy. And so without this connection, they're definitely feeling a little bit lost. Yeah, so this Death card is all about beginnings and endings. And so, yeah, they almost like don't know where to start, because they don't have that kind of sense of direction. At least today, this is things that they've been thinking about, like that they're unsure about. So we have love call, I like you, love, and karmic relationship. I think this karmic relationship card came out because they are worried that you potentially have kind of written them off as a karmic and have let them go. But yeah, they definitely don't want to be written off. They want to be able to express love for you. They want to let you know that they're thinking of you, and that they do love you. They definitely want to have another chance with this connection. They unconditionally love you for sure. That's not to say that ego doesn't get in the way of that sometimes, but deep down on a soul level, they do feel a oneness, an attraction to you. So yeah. They definitely, I think they're a little bit, it feels like they're a little bit in a victim mindset when it comes to them doubting that they can do this without you. I think that they definitely need to back themselves a lot more, especially given how much they obviously care about you. They need to have a lot more faith in this connection, to be honest. They're definitely, like, today we're thinking about how attracted they are to you. They're probably thinking about how beautiful you are. And yeah, like I said, it's kind of this victim mindset where they think they're not going to be able to have what it is that they want for whatever reason, that they're getting into this kind of mind frame. I think these kind of thoughts will reach a resolution soon. Like, I think at some point they're going to kind of let go of this kind of victim mentality and just get on with it. But it is going to take some meditation and reflection, personal reflection of like why they're getting stuck in this cycle first before that's going to be able to happen. But let's see if there's any of their shadow messages to come through, like any shadow thoughts that they might have had today. Can we get them? Ooh. So we have, I sabotaged this connection and I regret it. Hurting you was never my intention. Any more shadow messages from pile 3? It's definitely a lot of regret and like feeling victimized for sure. I can't stop thinking about you. Yeah, they were definitely thinking about you a lot in a very loving way today. For sure. Can we have another love oracle, please? So we have nature's signs. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continually and we only need to open our hearts and minds. So your person's probably sending you 5D messages, like from a higher perspective, they probably have a lot more faith in this connection than what their 3D self is right now. Like they're definitely in a victim mentality that's like potentially separating themselves from that. And also think about sending them some signs within nature to remind them that you love them too. Like I think that will really help them at this time if they can receive some things from you. And just trust that kind of whatever signs you want to send, Spirit's going to send them, and that your person, even if they don't recognize them on a 3D level, their 5D self will definitely know what they are and know what they mean. Can we get an affirmation for pile 3, please? Can we get an affirmation for pile 3, please? So we have, every day I grow stronger in mind, body, and spirit. I am strong and I am capable. I think this maybe is something that you both need to connect with right now, this kind of energy of being strong and capable. And I think the more that you connect with it, the more you will help your person connect with it as well, to kind of like feel that energy coming from you, to help them with some of this kind of victim mentality. But I think I'm going to leave that there, pile 3. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really needed today. My name's Jade Wilding, and it has been a pleasure reading for you. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it because it will help me stay on your feed for more intuitive tarot card readings like this. But until then, ciao.